From New York, if you can't stand the heat, get away from the burning pile of trash. It's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, Kirk Douglas, actress Helen Hunt, Toronto Blue Jays pitcher David Cohn, and musician Peter Frampton. Also, viewer mail. Plus, Paul Schaefer and the world's most dangerous man. And now, a man who's counting on a big write-in vote to make him the next president of the United States, David Letterman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Late Night with David Letterman, home of the two-man standing ovation. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Very nice. Unbelievable two-man standing ovation. And there it is. You know, Ross Perot, earlier in the week, he said that the reason he dropped out of the race in the middle of the summer, he suspected Republican dirty tricks were going to sabotage the wedding of his daughter. Today, he announced that he is blaming Republican dirty tricks for the fact that he's not taller. What? See, to me, this guy may just be a little too goofy for his own good. Yeah. Last night on Larry King Live, Ross Perot was on again. He's been on like a dozen times. And the thing is, Cher, one of our most gifted entertainers, Cher phones in live on the Larry King program and says to Ross Perot, I have already, with my absentee ballot, voted for you, Ross Perot. Now, I think truly on Tuesday, when most Americans are in the voting booth, will be saying to themselves, gosh, I wonder who Cher's voting for. Don't you? Maybe not. I thought that this demonstrated that the man has a wonderful sense of humor. Earlier today, at the Vatican Halloween party, the Pope went dressed as Sinead O'Connor. I thought, that he really has a... Because do you know about this Luther Campbell Two Live Crew situation? Of course. Have you heard about this? Two Live Crew, they're touring the world, and they're in Japan giving a concert or a series of concerts. And Mr. Campbell invites an audience member at one of the concerts up on stage, and they engage in some kind of sexual activity at the concert. It certainly gives new meaning to the expression down in front, doesn't it? Not even a split second went by. You were right there on the money. Excellent job. All nice right, going, Anton. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful television program for you tonight. Kirk Douglas will be joining us a bit later. That's right, Kirk Douglas. Yeah. Also, a lovely woman, Helen Hunt. She's in the new Billy Crystal movie, and one of the co-stars, or not one of the co-stars, she is the co-star of the new Paul Reiser TV show here on NBC, which is called Mad About You. Now, sure you can applaud. Oh, stop! And from the world champion Toronto Blue Jays, former New York Met David Cohn is here, ladies and gentlemen. And Oh, Peter Frampton with the band. Now, say hello to our friend Paul Schaefer. Right over there.
Thank you very much. Dave, please feel free to walk right through my shot.
Well, I'm going to,
Come
Paul,
on.
because it's
Sure,
time.
stand there, really. Dave.
I'm doing this because it's time for my annual chest X-ray.
Chest X-ray, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
What a night. We got Peter Frampton.
Peter, nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Peter Frampton, ladies and gentlemen. We're glad to have him.
Tomorrow night is Halloween. Is it tonight or tomorrow night is Halloween?
It's tomorrow night.
Do you have big plans for Halloween?
I'm going to a party.
Yeah, will you be dressing up?
Yes.
And may I ask as what?
Going as myself.
Hey!
Nuttiest costume I could think of. Are you going to a party?
There's no party. I'll be staying at my home, but I do dress up for the occasion.
Yeah. Good for you. What do you dress as?
Same thing as I do every year.
What is that?
Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, man. Do you want to go trick-or-treating together?
No, I just like sitting at home dressed as Dorothy.
You know, I heard that about you. I didn't believe
it. It doesn't need to be Halloween, but it's just...
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Could I say thank you to a guy who's been sitting on base and doing a great job all week, Francisco Centeno.
We didn't mention it earlier.
Yes,
nice to have you here. Thank you, sir.
Tonight.
Appreciate it.
He's done a great job. Francisco Centeno.
Wow! Thank you very much. We have a wonderful show. We have a big show. We have a packed show. Let's get right to it. First, before we begin, let's answer our viewer mail. Ladies and gentlemen, these are actual letters from actual viewers, and let's get right to it. Letter number one. Dear Dave, not long ago, you made up with Cher after a long feud. How long will it be before you and Shirley MacLaine kiss and make up faithfully? Marty Bonnert, Ventura, California. You know, Marty, it's not that big a deal. Shirley MacLaine and I have a falling out every, 1,200 years or so. So, we'll be making up before you know it. Letter number two. Dear Dave, please don't tell Paul that I fast-forward past all of the music while watching your show on videotape the morning after. Gratefully and cordially, Tom Jansen, Hudson, Massachusetts. So I guess what this guy is saying, that when he looks at the show the next day on his videotape, he fast-forwards through the music. You know, it may be convenient, but you're missing a great deal. Last night, as a matter of fact, we had Graham Parker on, and during Graham's musical number with Paul and the band, Paul did something magical, and if you fast-forwarded through your videotape, you missed it. Hal, do me a favor. Run that videotape of last night's show with Hal during the music number. I'm sorry, with Paul during the music number.
With Paul?
Yes, with Paul, Hal.
We're always running, don't know what we're running from. We're always so prepared.
Here, there's that one big push. Come on, push. One more. One big one, and push. Ah,
Very impressive. Nice going.
It's nothing that anybody would not have done under the same
Way to go, Paul. Very, very impressive. Last night, it was probably in some of the papers this morning, a woman in our audience, it's true, gave birth to a 6-month-old baby. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We had to immediately gave the child a haircut. That's... Let's see, letter number 3. We're up to letter number 3. Oh, I get it. You think this is bingo. Dear Dave, if you had only 24 hours to live, what would you do? Ryan G. Shackelford, Kadena Air Force Base, Okinawa, Japan. If I had only 24 hours to live, I'd go to Disney World.
So you would spend your last 24 hours on Earth
Yes,
at
I would,
Disney
Paul.
World.
Yes, I would. I love that Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh, well, that explains it then.
God help me, I love it so. Letter number 4. Dear Dave, it is known that the Democratic Party is represented by a... Oh, boy, get ready for real fun, ladies and gentlemen. It is known that the Democratic Party is represented by a donkey and that the Republican Party is represented by an elephant. What animal represents the Independent Party? Excellent question. Just wondering, Kathleen Currier, Needham, Massachusetts. Well, Kathleen, there's only one way to find out, and that's to ask the Independent Party presidential candidate himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ross Perot. Ross!
I don't need no stinking mascot to get votes. I get votes the way Elvis did. I sing for the boys. Lord Almighty, feel my temperature rising. Higher, higher, burning through to my soul. Your kisses lift me higher, like the sweet song of a choir. And you light my morning sky with flirting love. Just a hunk of burning love. A hunk of burning love. Hunk of burning love. Burning love. Remember America. It's time to clean out the bond. Good night, suckers.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, in some third world countries, there's a shortage of videotape. And yet here in the wealthiest country in the world, we're wasting it. I tell you what, let's do a commercial. When we come back, Kirk Douglas will join us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Friday night program, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Frampton in with the band all night.
Man, he sounds great, too. He sounds great.
What was the album? Frampton Comes Alive? Was that it? Sold like 80, like close to 1 billion copies. Yeah. I was on that album.
What did you do on that?
Tambourine.
Tambourine?
Dressed, of course, as Dorothy.
I understand.
Peter, nice to have you with us.
It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Kirk Douglas is also here. Helen Hunt, ladies and gentlemen. David Cohn from the 1992 World Champion Toronto Blue Jays. Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Formerly with the New York Mets, and I believe now is a declared free agent, so we don't know where he'll be going next year. Sure, you can applaud that, sir. Applauding a free trade market society. Yes. Let's do our top 10 list and then get on with the big show here. The category tonight, top 10 ways dumb voters decide who to vote for. Top 10 ways dumb voters decide for whom to vote. Here we go. You understand this, Paul?
Yes, sure, of course. Who dumb voters?
That's
top
right.
Top 10 ways.
Now, as a Canadian, you don't vote.
I'm not allowed to vote here.
You can't get anywhere near a polling place,
I can't do that, no. I can pay all the taxes.
As a Canadian, get him away from here.
Pay all the taxes I want, though.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yes.
You have to pay American taxes,
yes,
but you don't have a voice in
That is correct.
Oh, that's not right.
Well...
Let's take this show to Canada.
I'm an well, you know, the Blue Jays did it.
Yeah. There's some unrest in the audience, and I don't understand it. No, there's friction, there's dissension here, and I don't know why. Anyway, top 10 ways dumb voters decide who to vote for. Here we go, number 10. Ask a smart person, then vote the opposite way. Number 9, listen for clues from Vanna. Number 8, whichever guy has that cool-sounding voodoo economics. Number 7, find out who that dwarf on golf guy is supporting. Number 6, a stick hand in blender. 1 finger left, vote Bush. 2 fingers left, Clinton. Oh, it's a pitiful notion, isn't it? Number 5, carefully analyze pie charts. Get craving for pie, eat pie. Number 4, heads Bush, tails quail. Number 3, if he's talking about a tax on steakums, forget it. Number 2, ask self, am I more dumb now than I was 4 years ago? And the number 1 way dumb voters decide who to vote for, one word, Nixon. Hey. Okay, our next guest has been here before a couple of times. We're always very happy when he decides he can come back and see us again. Let's see. Oh, he is a legend in Hollywood, of course, and he has starred in over 70 motion pictures. That's right. Including Spartacus and also Lust for Life. He is also a best-selling author. Here's a copy of his newest book right here entitled The Gift. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Kirk Douglas. Well, I don't care. All right. The first guest who actually needed an usher. Kirk, how are you?
Good, but
Man,
it's 80 movies. It's not 70.
I'm sorry, I stand corrected.
Where were you when I was making those 10 movies?
I missed 10. I'll confess to that. Do you remember? Is it possible to remember every movie or can you remember an experience from each of those movies?
Thank God, no.
Yeah.
There's several movies you want to forget, and that's the curse of television. When you've done a movie, you say, boy, I'm glad that's over, and 10 years, 20 years later, there it is.
Yeah.
In your home on TV, no. No, there's lots of them you want to forget.
See, we have that problem here every night. Something happens here in the studio and you think, oh my God, thank goodness that's gone and I can forget about it. And then you realize, oh, later tonight, all of America gets to see it.
That's right. You know, I was going to bring you a gift. I thought it was appropriate.
Very nice of you.
So I was in California before I left, and I'm packing this gift. And my wife says, what's that? Mm-hmm. And I can't quite get it in the suitcase. It's a banderia that the bullfighters use, and in my novel, the hero is a Portuguese bullfighter.
It's a sword, is that what it is?
Well, it's more of a spear.
Uh-huh.
So my wife says, what's that, something from Spartacus? I said, no. I said, this is something from the book. I said, I thought it'd be a gag. I'd give it to
me?
David Letterman on the show. She says, well, but why don't you give him a bigger spear from Spartacus? I said, honey, I'm not talking about Spartacus. This is from a book I've written. She said, well, go ahead, make a fool of yourself. I think it's silly, so you never got the gift.
But yeah, seriously, why didn't I get something from Spartacus?
You know why, David? You were too young then. You weren't even allowed to see movies.
No, that's not true. I saw Spartacus in the theater when I was a kid. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. It was, well, like I'm telling you, it was an epic. It was an odyssey. Oh, Kirk, you should have seen the movie. It was in color. My God, what a movie.
No, but it is wonderful now when you've made a movie and 30 years later, a lot of young people who've never seen the movie see it, and the fact that they like it. You know, you think, well, they might think it's old-fashioned. The fact they enjoy it, that's a lot of gratification. That's wonderful.
You know what I have noticed, and this is a silly, long story. A couple of years ago, I got a VCR. So now I've been renting all of these old movies, and I'm at a point now where I can hardly watch a brand new movie because I'm so in love with the old films. And you wonder, I'm beginning to sound like my parents when they said, oh, they're not making movies like they used to. But you wonder, maybe there's something to that, or am I just getting old?
Well, there are a lot of wonderful movies. Listen, Casablanca, that's a movie I could see all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and that was made before it ever came out here. And I think people say that, David, they always say the good old days. I think things change. You go through, of course, right now, I think we're going through a period of maybe too much emphasis on violence instead of, you know, a story. But I think it'll change.
What about too much emphasis on sex?
There can never be too much emphasis.
Well, your son is doing what he can to carry on that tradition, isn't he?
You gotta admit, it says something about jeans.
Now, what is your reaction when you go to the movie and you see Michael and he's naked, she's naked, everybody's naked? I mean, of course, I'm guessing you've seen him naked before.
Well, as a matter of fact, I've shown my butt in a movie years ago. I mean, so what? I mean, really, I never think of that. For example, in Basic Instincts, I told Michael, I said, Michael, I think that's one of the best pieces. I really did a great, brilliant acting job. A lot of times people get confused by the explicit sexuality. They forget it's a very, very well-acted movie. I mean, to me, it's, you know, you always have to know the difference, David, between make-believe and reality. As long as you don't confuse the two, you know, what's the difference? You got to know who you are.
Yeah. How many movies... Well, I can't get into this.
Go ahead, take a crack at it.
How many movies did you show your butt in?
And I had to encourage him to go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. I was feeling confident. I thought, oh, well, Kirk wants me to go ahead. And would you show it to us tonight? Now, this has taken an ugly turn, hasn't it? I tell you what, let's do. We'll talk this over. We'll do a commercial. We'll be right back here with Kirk Douglas. Let's see, what should we talk about? We were looking at some old videotape. It's a kinescope, videotape made of a kinescope, I believe, in 1956. You were hosting...
56?
1956.
Just a kid.
Yeah,
Just a kid.
You were. 1956, you were hosting or guest hosting the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, that's a few years back.
How did that come about?
You know, I don't remember. I mean, I hosted the Johnny Carson show once. I'll tell you one thing I learned. You know, when you're young and foolish, you try anything. My respect for you guys has grown enormously. It ain't easy to be where you are and to really take on a whole show and keep it going. I think it's a tremendous job. Really, I congratulate you.
Thank you, but...
Look modest,
It's easy if you do the kind of job I do, which is, I do it sloppy. Yeah. But, well, do you mind if we show you on the Ed Sullivan Show?
I'd like to see it. I can't remember.
I believe Ed Sullivan had been injured or was ill or something.
I think so.
All right, well, let's take a look. Here we go, 1956, one Sunday night, Kirk Douglas hosting the Ed Sullivan Show.
Mermaid Minnie, met her down in Madagascar. She would kiss me anytime that I would ask her. Then she gave me the scare of my young life. Throw me down and pick me up, she was the captain's wife. The whale of a tale tell you that, a whale of a tale or two, about flatfish fish and the girls I love. Nights like this with the moon above, a whale of a tale and it's all true, I swear by
And you still know the words.
You know...
I'm telling you something. You look in that tape, you look great now, and you look great then. I mean, it's not that much different.
That's why I like to be on your show, David. You say the right thing. But I tell you something, when I did that song, Got a Wheel of a Tale, I was very excited because Walt Disney, he said, Kirk, we're going to make a record of it. I said, a record of it? So we made a record of Got a Wheel of a Tale and another song, Under some Moon or something, made a record of it. And the record went out. And I said to Sinatra one night, I said, listen, you know, I've got a record out. I said, look, Frank, I think what we should do is exchange records. I'll give you all the records I make, and you give me all the records you make. Of course, that was the only record I made, so I made a good deal with him. Yeah.
Did it sell? Was that a popular record for you?
I probably got about $240 in royalties.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Now, this book is your third book, your second novel. Your autobiography was a huge bestseller, wasn't it?
That's right,
yeah.
yes.
And this is, it picks up where the first novel left off. It's more of the...
No, it's just the story. When I did the first novel, A Dance with the Devil, people often said to me, what do you think happened to Patricia, who was a young girl in that? So I thought about it, and I wrote The Gift, and that's what happens to Patricia.
How do you write? It's very difficult work, isn't it?
Well, of course, you know, I feel like a young kid starting in a whole new career, and I'm very excited about it, because I don't have any set pattern. I just, I scribble. I think the scenes come to me like a movie in my mind, and then I act out all the parts, men, women, you know, children. And then I'm acting them out, and when I come to someone, I say, "Gee, Kirk, you were terrific." So I write it down.
Are you prolific?
Well, I don't know that I'm prolific. I enjoy writing. I'm already in the middle of a next book. But each book, you know, brings you into such, you know, contact with such wonderful things. Like in The Gift, I went to Portugal. And a lot of it takes place with Portuguese bullfighting where they don't kill the bull. By the way, you know, when they don't kill the bull, the exciting thing is the horsemanship of it. Now, you know what happens? At the end of the fight, the bull is alone in the ring. Now, how do you think they get the bull out?
They have somebody whistle at him?
You know what they do? They put in about 10 cows. They lumber in.
Oh, the cows, the old cow trick.
Exactly. They surround the bull and the bull goes off.
It's the old cow trick. Yeah, betcha.
I couldn't believe it. And a woman shall lead them, and off they go.
Let's see, what else was I gonna... Oh, you know what let's do? Hang around right after the show, and we'll go down to Hurley's, the bar down on the corner. You and I will have a couple of drinks, okay?
Why not?
And then we'll fight guys.
Okay.
What do you think? Yeah! Yeah!
A lot of fun.
The book is The Gift. It's Kirk Douglas. Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for being here. Kirk Douglas. We'll be right back. Hi, how are you? The folks from Orkin are here. They're fumigating.
Are they?
Does it put you in the mind of radioactive steam?
Yes, it does.
Coming up in this half hour, Helen Hunt, a lovely woman and a very, very talented actress, will be joining us. Also, Major League Baseball star and a fabulous pitcher, David Cohn, will be joining us. And Monday, we're not on tomorrow. We're not on tomorrow, are we?
No, of course we're not on.
The Olympics are on tomorrow night.
Olympics are not on. What are you talking about?
Oh, the Olympics are still on.
Are you all right?
How's the Dream Team doing? And is
Dave?
anybody hurt?
Dave.
Is anybody...
Dave, are you okay?
They're traveling, the Dream Team now is traveling the country playing junior high school teams.
No, that's not true.
But I think it's all for charity.
Are you all right? You seem
Also, Monday on the show, Rappers, it says here, Rappers Run DMC, as opposed to the Run DMC doing the home improvement show.
Yeah.
This is the Rappers DMs Run DMC.
Dave, you seem distracted. Are you all right?
What?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Just relax.
Because you're a little bit, you know, your mind is elsewhere, I think, right now. Is there something bothering you?
Frank Owens?
No, Frank, that was 11 years ago Frank Owens was here.
Geez,
I'm Paul. Are you okay?
It was the morning show, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is the 12:30 spot. 12:30.
I don't know.
What is the matter?
I guess I'm a little restless.
I can tell you're restless. Is there something? Can I do anything? Do you want to do something about this?
There's something, in all honesty, there's something I would like to do.
Well, I think you should do it. Obviously, you should do it so we can get on with the show.
Do it now?
Yeah, do it. Just
really do it now?
Go do it now.
Oh, bless you. Yes.
Sure.
Great.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Man, I think I better follow him.
Taxi! Hop right in. Thank you very much. We'll just share a cab.
Taxi! Taxi!
Al, thank you for having me. And the reason I'm here, I would like to know if you have tonight's over-under on groin pulls. Frank, by the way, I was talking to the guys in the truck. Regis Philbin phoned from your house. He wants to know where you keep the liquor. Do I have a chance just to say one thing about Dan here? How long have you been doing these Monday night games? 6 years. 6 years, and I know this for a fact. Every Monday night when he gets ready to do one of these telecasts, he still wears a cup. Man, I think that's professionalism. You know, the reason I'm here, I've wanted to do this for a long time. I would like to read the disclaimer. if that's possible. Now, actually, I have music for this, too. Paul, are you there? My musical director, Paul Schaefer.
Whose show is this?
All right. You ready, Paul? Go ahead. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Jets and the National Football League is strictly prohibited.
We've lost control. Totally.
Thank you, Paul.
Go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
I had some trouble at the Port Authority. Let's do a commercial, and then we'll bring Helen Hunt out here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, how are you? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is one of the stars of a brand new blockbuster hit television series right here on the NBC network. It's entitled Mad About You, and she co-stars with Paul Reiser. She can also be seen in the big Billy Crystal film, Mr. Saturday Night, with Billy Crystal. Here she is, folks, Helen Hunt. Helen, come on. Helen, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Let me apologize again. You were supposed to be with us a couple of months ago. We ran out of time, and you were kind enough, nice enough to find time in your schedule to come back.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thrilled to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
You know, I went to see that Billy Crystal movie, the Mr. Saturday Night. I thought you were great in it.
Thank you.
It was a great part, wasn't it?
It was a great, unique part.
You played an agent who was interested in reviving the character's career.
Right. I think I play an agent who in the beginning is sort of heartless and then becomes interested.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah,
first.
it was nice. I thought you did a great job.
Thank you.
Now, tell us about the new show, Mad About You.
Mad About You,
Yeah.
me and Paul Reiser.
Everybody loves this program, don't they?
They seem to. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled, and they're all very friendly people, thank God. He's great, because I'm around him way too many hours a day.
So
And,
you've worked with a lot of comedians now. Billy Crystal and then Paul Reiser.
That's right.
Is that good for you? Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, they're funny. I mean, it makes, like, going to work... That was sort of smart of me, wasn't it? They're funny because
Yeah.
they're comics.
Right, yeah.
That's why they're funny.
Did you get a chance to see David Cohn backstage?
I did.
Yeah, are you a baseball fan?
You know, I'm a sort of a medium baseball fan now. In high school, I was a huge baseball fan. In fact, my mother wrote me a note to get out of school in 11th grade so that I could see a playoff game with the Dodgers and the Astros.
Wow.
Not actually go, just watch it on television, actually.
Really? So you're not going to the stadium, you're just staying
no, I
at
went
home?
home in my room to watch it.
Wow.
That's sort of sad.
So your mom occasionally would write letters to your teacher, so
think
Helen
she said,
would like
like,
to stay home and watch cartoons today.
Exactly.
That kind of thing. And you're from California?
I was born in California, and then I grew up here, and then moved back there.
Yeah, and you obviously continue to live out there.
In fact, I just bought a house.
Congratulations. This
Thank
is
you.
a big moment in your life. Is it your first house?
No, I had a house, and I'm selling it, and now I'm buying a sort of a house that a girl on a TV show could have.
Oh, my God. So you've moved into, like, the big star show business mansion.
It's not like a big mansion. There are certain things, though, that I think are like a girl on a TV show things. Like there are two sinks.
Two sinks?
For a reason I'll never really understand.
Two sinks like where?
Like in the bathroom, right next to each other.
Oh, two sinks, sure.
So I guess if you're with somebody, you can both brush your teeth at the same time.
That's right. So a person could brush his or her teeth, and a person could shave his or her face.
Right. Or I could go back and...
Have you ever used it to shave your face?
I'm excited to. Not yet.
How many square feet we have in this dwelling?
2,900.
Oh, so that's
big.
It's big, yes.
There's a
but
wet bar.
A wet bar?
Which
what's
cracks
that?
me up for some reason. It's like a little bar in your house.
Or if you're really creative, it could be a third sink.
Or a planter.
Yeah, a planter, absolutely.
I keep thinking I'm going to come home and just sit there at the bar and wait for, like, a guy to come and ask me.
Oh, no. Your life can't possibly be that...
Or if I'm with someone, then, like, today I'll be the bartender and you be the guy in the bar, and then... I just don't understand having a bar in your house, but I bought one with you.
All right, well, you have some things to deal with then.
Yes, I do.
Getting used to the... Getting used to the double sinks.
That's right.
Yeah, and coming to terms with the wet bar.
That's right.
I wouldn't go near the automatic garage door opener for a couple of years.
No, I'm going to face myself.
And what else is going on in your life? You have the big hit television show. Tell people about that. You and Paul are married and...
We're a married couple, like 5 months into their marriage, right at the point where you realize you're actually going to be together forever, so you better learn how to not drive each other crazy. And so I'm learning how to not let him drive me crazy, which he doesn't do because he's great.
This follows Seinfeld on NBC on Wednesday nights, is that right?
They keep calling us a companion piece.
Now, what the hell does that mean?
I don't know. My image of it is that Seinfeld's like, get off. But I hope I'm wrong. I secretly think they're like, we started it and now you're... But I hope that isn't true.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll have a long and happy life here at NBC.
I'm a member of the family now, I guess.
Yes, you are. Occasionally, a family member will find it necessary to run away from home. My Helen, it was a delight and a pleasure to meet you, and please come back any old time.
I would love to.
Helen Hunt, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with David Cohn. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look now at our next guest as he pitches his team toward victory in the final game of this year's World Series. There he is, number 11, Mr. K, David Cohn. From the world champion Toronto Blue Jays, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Welcome back to New York, David Cohn. David? Yes, sir. You're Mr. Big Shot, aren't you?
I'm doing okay.
Yes, sir, you are. Probably the most successful pitcher in baseball today, I would guess. Right?
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Doing pretty well. North of the border, a little better.
Yeah. You have a World Series ring, and now you're a free agent, and this means what? Any team interested in you can make you a huge offer to come and pitch for them? Is that what we're looking at?
That's what we're looking at. I was going to consult with you since you seem to be in the same position.
And, and any teams come to mind right away? You'd like to come back to New York City, I guess?
Well, I'm keeping my options open.
If you had a list of 5 teams, and you must have a list of 5 teams, what would they be? What would number 1 be?
Well, since you're putting me on the spot, I'd have to say Toronto, the Yankees.
Toronto, Yankees, Philadelphia. All right.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. You're from Kansas City?
I'm originally from Kansas City.
Any chance of coming back to the Mets? That could happen, I guess, right?
I'd say the chances are pretty remote at this point.
Now, I can remember hearing you interviewed on the radio when the trade happened, and you seemed not bitter, not disappointed, maybe disappointed, but the word you kept using was confused. You felt confused by it. What were the circumstances that led to that confusion?
Well, the trading deadline's usually July 31st, and if anything happens, it's usually before that date. And they waited until almost the 1st of September, and it just kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah.
The whole timing of the situation, I think, was confusing.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. But the story has a happy ending. You go up north and you help Toronto achieve the World Series championship. What was it like playing in the World Series and also playing in Toronto? How did the people treat you? How did they react up there to the World Series in Canada?
Well, I think, you know, they were tremendously excited. The problem is they have no history of a championship there, so they kept comparing it to the '72 hockey game in the Olympics. So, it was kind of a unique situation.
Yeah. Speaking of unique situations, there was a play, I guess, this season. You're pitching. It's Atlanta. You're out at Shea Stadium, I believe, and there is a call that you're contesting with an umpire. Roll that videotape, Hal. Roll it. Here we go. All right, you're making a play at first base.
As you can see, I did touch the bat.
That's right.
But, yeah, this is probably the biggest blooper in baseball history. And it actually happened at Atlanta.
Oh, that's right. It is at Atlanta.
Charlie Williams is the umpire, and it's about that point where he turned to me and said, while you're arguing with me, your second run just scored. So.
So 2 runs score on the play.
2 runs scored, and we ended up losing that game, and that was probably the most embarrassing point in my career.
Oh, my God. And what did the team say to you afterwards? What did the manager say to you afterwards?
Well, I think Davy Johnson was so upset that he just went straight in and hit a bottle of vodka before he talked to me. So.
Was that when Davy was managing?
That's when Davy was managing. Yeah, that was actually a few years ago.
Is that right? Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking that was this season.
That was back in 1989 in Atlanta, actually.
Boy, you know, it'd be interesting if it was this season and your manager was Jeff Torborg and Davy went for the vodka anyway. He had nothing to do with it. Yeah. How now will you spend your off season? What will you be doing?
Well, I'm looking for a long vacation. I'm looking to get away.
Hunting and fishing?
Hunting and fishing, probably. Maybe a little bobsledding with Herschel.
Yeah. And when will you find out where you're going to be playing next year?
Probably the middle of December. You know, we're going to take our time and listen to all the offers. Hopefully there'll be some offers.
Yeah, I would think so. Now, there was a lot of talk after a game in San Francisco. They said, well, you know, he may have tired out his arm because you stayed in long, made like 500 pitches or something like that. Is the arm okay?
The arm feels good. There was a little flat period there right after the trade, but I think I finished in a strong fashion. And, of course, being in the winning game of the World Series was tremendous.
What will become of Dave Winfield now? Is he going to be back with the Blue Jays or not?
I would hope so. You know, he was a big part of their success this year, and there's a lot of economics in baseball that are detailed, and they decided not to offer him arbitration, but they want to sign him back, which means they don't want to go to arbitration with him and force his salary out, but they might try to sign him as a free agent.
I'm confused again. Now, did you have just about enough of that tomahawk chop deal?
Yeah, we did. We did. I mean, you know, we've got one game where Ted and Jane are falling asleep, and then another game when Jane's praying to the heavens, and Canada didn't respond to that very well. Of course, the upside-down flag didn't go over real big either.
No. It's a pleasure to see you. Congratulations on your accomplishments, and I hope you find a suitable home next season, David.
Thank you.
Nice to be here. David Cohn, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Okay, Peter Frampton has a new collection entitled Shine On. All of your greatest stuff, Peter, and some other things?
Yeah, 30 things on there.
Good. Nice to have you here. Come back again. Thank you very much. David, good luck again, sir. My thanks to Helen Hunt and Kirk Douglas. Good night, everybody.